Raise your hand if you are using HubSpot workflows to automatically send gifts to clients and prospects throughout your sales process. If you're not, I'm going to show you real quick how you can do that. And then you can let your imagination run wild on all the ways that you can condition what to send. So if you're not using Postal.io, check them out on our podcast that's going to drop next Tuesday. We are going to have two people from Postal.io, their head of demand gen and head of partner relationships with us, to talk about all the cool things you can do. So I definitely recommend heading over to Spotify and getting Marketing on the Flywheel or wherever you listen to your podcast. All right, so let's do this as a contact-based workflow. So we're going to say the gifting workflow, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to just make this a blank workflow. I'm going to go to next. And the trigger is going to be whatever's going to trigger you giving somebody a gift, okay? So for this demo, I'm going to go through the trigger and I'm going to do an if-then branch so that you can see how to give different gifts based on the size of a deal, priority of it, all of those kinds of fun things, okay? So here's what our trigger is going to be. Our trigger is going to be that a deal stage is any of closed one, and I can go ahead and do this across multiple pipelines if I want to, okay? And yeah, we're just going to say that right now. So when a deal gets to closed one, okay? So that's going to be our trigger. Now, you could filter this. Obviously, you could send gifts at other stages in the pipeline, and then you can add additional filters, which I'm going to do in the if-then branch. So let's go ahead and we're going to do an if-then branch so that we can break up. We're going to say deals over 200K. All right, so we're going to go deal property, and we're going to say amount. We could also say the total contract value so that we get that right, okay? So we're going to say is greater than or equal to 200,000. Okay, so that's one branch. We're going to add another branch for deals between 100,000 from 100K to 199K. So again, we're going to take the deal and we're going to do the total contract amount, and we're going to say is greater than or equal to 100,000. Okay, and then we're going to also say that the total contract value is less than or equal to 199,999. Okay, so now we have it's greater than this, less than that. Okay, so we have that one, and then we can just name the other branch deals less than 100K. All right, because we might want to give a different gift. Okay, now let's say also maybe you only want to send it to specific people. So we could also say that the buying role is any of, let's say, decision maker, champion, or executive sponsor, so that we only send to people who have those roles. Maybe if the deal is 200 or more, maybe we also send it to the influencer. So on deals 200 or more, we go ahead and send it to decision makers, champions, executive sponsors, and influencers. And then down here for our deals that are 100 to 199,000, let's go ahead and find that buying role again. And so if you're thinking about this, right, let's say you're running an ABM play, when you get to that meeting book stage, maybe you have people in a certain ICP tier get this gift, this ICP tier get that gift, deciding based on role. You can do all of those things. So let's say that we're just going to have the decision maker and the champion and the executive sponsor for these more mid-sized deals, okay? And then down here, we're actually not able to create any of those conditions. So if we wanted them, we'd have to add it as another branch and just put nothing under here. I'm not going to do that for right now, though. So now is where the fun happens. So now we go down to here and we send a postal. So we can choose whatever we have allowed to go over to HubSpot. So in this case, we have holiday cookies, but you can choose a single item. You can build a page with choices. That way, something I learned on Friday, I think, when we were recording our podcast, was the fact that people can't accept gifts sometimes, right? And of course I knew that. I hadn't thought about that. So Swag often can be accepted. So you could have something, a swag item or a gift card for donating, right? But let's say we're just going to send these cookies. We can do that. And now when we turn this workflow on, anyone who's in a closed won stage will get a gift according to their contract amount and that they have the right buying role. So we don't send it to every single contact that's on there unless you want to. So that's one example of how you can gift automatically using HubSpot and Postal.io. And I'd love to hear examples of how you have done this or would do this now that you have this information. Happy workflow building.